Hey YouTube family, it's your girl Lovebug. Today is June 10th, 2026. I'm in Ohio, zone 5/6, and I am a gardener for those of you who don't know. Today we're going to talk about our two trees that we have that are in ground. I have other items that are not in ground, but we're going to talk about just the two that are in ground. So what we're looking at here is a 2-in-1 plum tree. It is a Shiro plum and red heart plum mix. I got this tree in 2018 from Stark Brothers, and it has been growing ever since then. Um, the one thing I will say about growing trees is it is not for those who are seeking instant gratification. Growing fruit trees, it takes a long time for them to get established. As you see, was planted in 2018, and last year was the first year that we got fruit off of it. This particular tree, we got fruit last year, but in the previous years, we did not get fruit off of it. Part of that, I will say, is my fault. As a new gardener, I just picked which fruit I wanted to grow because I wanted to grow food that we eat. And I just picked this tree because it had two different types of plums and we like plums. The Shiro plum is a yellow plum, and the red heart obviously is red. But I didn't do my research thoroughly because this tree puts flowers on very early in the spring. And in our climate, that can be a problem because when the flowers come on, the pollinators are not out because it's cold. Oftentimes we'll get some warm days and it will flower, and then for a week or two after we'll have cold weather and all the flowers will die. All the fruit that has been pollinated will fall off. But I have decided to keep this tree here simply for the fact that last year we got fruit and it was so sweet and so delicious. I want to be able to eat from this tree. I'm gonna give it a couple more years before I decide if I'm gonna eliminate it or not. As you guys know, if you've watched my previous videos, we had a lot of fruit on this tree earlier, and now I haven't been able to find any. And I just simply think it's because of the fact that we have squirrels, and the squirrels like these before they're even ripe. And I think they just came in and ate them all. So I'm not sure if this tree will be a permanent fixture. I am going to try and give it a few more years. We've not really had any problems with this tree other than the fact that in the beginning the deer did eat the lower extremities of it. So this here that you see has all been eaten by the deer. So we haven't gotten too much of it. The only other thing that I have seen on the tree is, I think it's called, I'm not sure what they're called, but I can show you. So there are these little black dots. It's a type of bug and it eats the tree. But it hasn't harmed it because every year it comes like gangbusters in the spring, and like all the new branches are usually covered end to end with these little bugs or whatever they are. But it hasn't damaged the tree because the tree is growing fine. Also, just so that you know and that you're aware, this tree I have never fertilized and I have never sprayed. So what you see is a natural product. But this tree is strong, it is healthy, and if we didn't have so many other animals around here that like the fruit, we probably would get some. But like I said, I'm gonna keep it for a couple more years to see if we can get some fruit on it. I have pruned it several times. I did not prune it this past winter. I usually do every other year pruning, so we will be pruning this winter. It is getting larger, so I want to keep it at a place where we will be able to harvest. If I'm standing on the ground and I have a reaching pole, where I'll still be able to harvest the fruit, if we get fruit that the squirrels don't eat. So this is our plum tree. Let me take you over to the peach tree. Now the peach tree was planted in 2019. This is also a tree that I purchased from Stark Brothers. And when I got it, it was very, very small. This peach tree we treat it the same way as we treat the plum tree. We do not spray or fertilize. This tree is next to our old wood chip pile. So I think that's where the lean came from, because the pile was higher and the tree was younger. So the tree actually did kind of get pushed over when the wood chips were dumped here. But it survived, so I left it here. And as you can see, there are plenty of peaches on here. Now this tree, unlike the plum tree, has put on fruit consistently. But same as the plum tree, sometimes when we get a cold snap, they will all fall off. Now this year we didn't have that, which is part of the reason why I think we have so many peaches on this year. Mind you, you see all these peaches, this tree has been thinned out. So imagine what was on here before we thinned it out. Actually, probably need to thin more out, but I'm gonna leave it and see how the tree does. So far, we're doing okay. We do have a bug called plum caculio around here, and it is a bug that comes and lays its eggs in your plant, and you'll see it. It's like a half moon shaped mark. If you see that on your fruit, you know that you're dealing with a plum caculio, and the result of that is it will begin to ooze and drip sweet sap from it. As you can see on that one, this one has been really, so the bug inside of there is alive and moving around and active, and it's causing that to ooze out from the inside because the bug is eating it from the inside out. So the remnants of its eating is oozing out of the holes from where it entered. So that's what we see there. And a couple of these have that. Not all of them, but there are several of them that have that issue. Let me see if I can get you a better shot of this one here. There are several. Whoops. Where is it? Like that one there. You can see it really good. And if you look closely, you can see even a bug stuck to the outside of that. So there's a bug already out and there's one still in, still eating. So that's what happens, and it's called the plum caculio. And they affect any stone fruit. So fruits that have a pit, like cherries and plums and peaches and nectarines, the plum caculio will affect that. I believe it also will affect other fruits like apples, but I haven't had a chance to see that yet because my apple tree hasn't fruited yet because it's still a baby. But this tree we do not fertilize and we do not spray pesticides. The plum caculio is the only problem that I have seen on the fruit. Now, stone fruit trees, which again, plums, peaches, nectarines, cherries are all stone fruit. They are susceptible to, Oh, I can't remember the name of it, but basically it's this. I'll show you on the trunk. If your tree gets harmed or injured, it is this. What is the name of it? My goodness, I can't remember the name of it right now. But basically, it's your tree trying to repair itself. So when your tree gets injured, it puts out this thick sap, like you see there, to heal itself. And basically, it's a scab to heal itself from any harm. And I'm pretty sure that these markings are from the male deer that come in our neighborhood and eat and rub on the tree. But it puts on sap bubbles to protect itself. The name is escaping me, and I apologize for that. And I was concerned about it. And you know, the tree may be damaged internally, and we don't know if this tree is going to last. But if it continues to put on fruit, I'm going to leave it here because it's productive. Sometimes things look worse than what they are because it's healing. That'll preach, y'all. Yeah, we look bad when we're going through our healing process, but we are still putting on fruit for the Lord. Amen. Okay, period. Me and God close, we be talking. Anyways, okay, so I have learned that in some cultures, they will peel this off, dry it, and use it for food. So it has a sweetness to it. But this is what the tree looks like. This is the only other problem that I've seen with this tree. We haven't had any problem with the leaves or anything of the tree. The leaves look healthy. We haven't had any disease there. But this is the peach tree. So that's our trees that we have in the ground. Eventually I will be planting our apple tree in the ground, but not yet. I need it to be stronger because it needs to be able to handle the deer that come in our yard. But I still recommend, even with the trials and the tribulations that happen when growing with trees, plant your trees. Get them in the ground as soon as you can so you can get fruit from them. There's nothing better than going to your backyard and pulling something off a tree and being able to eat it and you didn't have to pay for it. This tree is still very much loaded with fruit at different stages. That's the other thing that I can say that I like about having trees in your yard. It doesn't all ripen at the same time. A lot of it will, but some ripen at different times. And so you can always come out and pick some that are in prime ripeness and still have some for later to come back and get until they're all gone. So I highly recommend planting your own trees. It is a patience game. It is a process in caring for your trees, but just keep them well, and stay the course because it will be worth it. You get your fruit in the way that God intended. It's wonderful. All right, that's all I have for you today, YouTube family. You guys have a great day. And as always, what are you waiting for? It's time for you to get growing.